Yeah, it is a football Monday, my freaks. What an absolutely spectacular Monday coming out of divisional round games. We got a national championship game tonight. By the way, the National Football Show is powered by our great friends at BetUS. Make sure you log on. This is going to be a show where, get this, kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys end up moving on to the NFC Championship game. If I'm not mistaken, that's 2 and 3 years and 3 and 7 years. That's impressive. That is absolutely impressive. By the way, once again, an absolutely fabulous football game by the running game and by the defense. Just absolutely fantastic. Great stuff, man. I mean, I'll say it again. You have the only team I've ever seen in the Super Bowl era that doesn't have to have their quarterback play great. I mean, all over my Twitter page, I kept having people text me about Josh Allen's numbers. You're not comparing the people Josh Allen plays with to Jalen Hurts' offensive huddle, are you? What a moronic way of looking at shit. You've got the most talented offensive huddle in pro football. Josh Allen has none of that. Mahomes has none of that. Nobody is afforded the offensive skilled people. That's not really a rip. That is an absolute kudos to the way the roster has been built. You have more runway than any football team. Any football team that's remaining in the playoffs. Your quarterback can play okay. He can play okay. And you're going to get away with it because you're so talented everywhere else. And no mistakes this here, man. No question about it. How many people can get away with Jalen Hurts throwing the ball for only 65 yards if you count the sacks and you win a football game? Hey, man, I enjoyed that game last night, by the way. I disagree with John McMullen saying it was sloppy. Well, shit, man. The environment. Look at the weather. Look at how tough the game was played. I love snow games. That was absolutely sensational. It was a great football game. It was one of the better games I've ever seen. And the Eagles come out and now move on to the NFC Championship game. I didn't have one problem with that game. The defense, once again, one thing we are going to take credit for, I told you, Jalen Carter, prior to the draft and right after you took him, was going to be the next Jerome Brown. He is absolutely sensational. We're going to get to all super chats, I promise, here in a second. But that was, without a doubt, a fantastic football game. You know what it had? It had drama in it. It had turnovers. It had everything you wanted. Situational decisions that were being made. Big plays in the game. I don't know what you can ask for in a divisional game. I mean, seriously, that thing was absolutely must-see television. I guarantee you the ratings are through the roof for that. The game was close. The Rams showed up. Were you surprised? I wasn't. In the post-game show, I didn't get into a debate with John McMullen about Sean McVay, which I happen to think is an absolutely ridiculous take by him. Nobody thinks that about Sean McVay. What did I tell you the Rams wanted to do in that football game? They wanted to have the last crack at winning the game, and they did. They were an inferior roster. Inferior roster. They had no right having the ball with the last possession on the 13-yard line with the ability to win. But they did. You know why? That's fucking coaching. That's why I'm not getting into a debate with him. 4 division titles in 8 years, 2 NFC championships, a Super Bowl. I am not getting into that. Did the Rams have a shot to win that game? Yes. That's all you can ask for. That is all you can ask for. They gave him a shot. And the Eagles came through. Jalen Carter, huge. Absolutely. Vic Fangio. Get this. The Rams had the ball on the 13, and you're telling me that's shitty coaching? I don't think so. By the way, all supers, go to the top. We're going to read them here in a second. Please hit the like button. Massive topics out of the gate here. Okay? Hey, and one more time, I'm going to flat out tell you, man. Jalen wasn't bad. He was more effective in the run game for sure. In the pass game, he really wasn't. Matthew Stafford didn't have a problem. He threw for 328 yards or whatever it was. That's what elite passers do, no matter what the weather. I thought the sacks started coming in the second half for the defense for the Eagles. I thought they played way better in the second half. Okay? Way better in the second half. No question about it. Please hit that like button, guys. We appreciate it. Hey, man, you should be excited about you moving on to the NFC Championship game. It's a great roster. It is by far the best roster remaining of any team that's in the conference championships. And that includes Kansas City. That includes Kansas City. Zander, let's get some of these super chats already out of the gate. We appreciate everybody. And Christopher, if I hear one word about Jalen's yardage today, please remind me. Please remember this before you glorify Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts 15 of 20 for 128 yards. Josh Allen 16 for 22 for 127 yards. Once again, Christopher misses it. And I'm going to go to this. A.J. Brown, Devontae fucking Smith, Saquon Barkley, and Dallas Goedert. Now let's go over to the Bills people. And then we'll try to compare those Bills people to what Hurts works with and the best O-line in football. Let's see who Josh Allen has. James Cook, really nice football player, had 67 yards in the game. Okay, Khalil Shakir, who the fuck is that? Mark Collins, Curtis Samuel, Ty Johnson. This is who he plays with. Don't ever compare ever again Josh Allen and what he works with to what Jalen Hurts has. And let me even read this before we get going here. Let's do something that one of you guys, because some of you don't respect my word, let's do Ray Dittinger's words, okay? Ray Dittinger on the Eagles, they may need to reevaluate their passing concept. 27 dropbacks. Hurts was sacked 7 fucking times and a safety. Either the offensive line didn't play very well or the quarterback. He's been holding the ball way too long. This is really a problem. You're seeing it now for sure. I really do think it might be time for Jalen, Nick, and Kellen to have a sit down this week and just reevaluate their passing concepts. I've been saying this all fucking year. Quick outs, throwing. He's talking about situational. The passing plays are just too slow to develop, and Hurts has not had much success throwing the ball down the field. My buddy, Reuben Frank, has put this out. Jalen Hurts has 0 completions of 35 or more yards in the last 7 games. Okay, so I've been saying this all year. And for the record, this conversation is not about fucking Jalen Hurts. You're in the NFC title game. 7 sacks is crazy, Sills. It is. He had 65 yards fucking passing, and he gave up 2 points. You're telling me that fucking guy played well? You're out of your tree. You're so talented in the run game and on defense right now, it covers that shit. And Buddy took a safety, but the Jalenites and their Messiah was the end be-all, the equalizer. Hey, man, oh, yeah, there's the clock again. Hurts. I got you. Brian, they're in the NFC Championship game, and the only thing they want to fucking do is try to tell me that and try to compare him to Josh Allen. This guy had 50 yards and fucking sacks and 2 points he gave the Rams. You're telling me he played well. Wow. I can't, I'm not going to debate it. I'm just not going to debate it. Washington, the hottest team in the NFL. 7 straight upsets incoming. I got to tell you, man, they're playing really good football. We're going to get to all that, okay? You got to finally, hey, all of you guys told me too. Josh Allen was going to be exposed this year. He's in the fucking NFC Championship game. Jalen Carter heading into the Reggie White territory. Not quite yet. He's outstanding, though. Sills, evaluate the O-line play. We're going to do all of that. All 7 sacks could have been on Jalen. Could not have been on Jalen. Could questionable play calling have been a factor? Yes. This was a physical classic playoff game. Go Birds. It was. Hey, Devontae, I liked the game. Yesterday was probably the worst game of the year for Kellen. With that said, we're 8 quarters away from the title. Anthony, that's it right there in a nutshell. Jalen has 0 pocket presence, but throws were okay. They were. Saquon on the line can bring it home for us. I'm starting to believe it. Hurts is an abomination team, winning in spite of. Hey, he's not horrible. Admit it, Howie's GOAT. Instead of crying about the Bills roster. Howie got lucky. He didn't build his team that way. He put so many good players on that football team. He does get credit for that. He does. No question. Okay? But the one player that he thought would be the star would be the quarterback and not the back. The running back is the star of the team. Jalen was playing like Sam Darnold. 7 sacks. Pitiful. I mean, dude, the only difference is that your football team is better than Minnesota. Okay? Get this. This guy doesn't see this. They didn't build a team to have a guy throw the ball for 65 yards and 7 sacks, give up a safety in a divisional game. They built that team to have numerous targets and to be able to have a prolific passing game. That is never going to happen with that quarterback. But it doesn't matter. Get this. Why can't you see the game like I do? Your running attack is sensational. You're playing sensational defense. Your quarterback is mediocre. And you're going to probably win the Super Bowl. What the fuck am I saying? It's not true. What am I saying? It's not true. Of all the guys who played, Hurts had the worst game. A safety, 7 sacks, minus plays. You kept that Rams team in it because of the play of the quarterback and the play calling. The play calling and the quarterback kept the Rams in it. But you're so talented, you beat them. I didn't think the game was supposed to be close, but it was. Rams had a shot to win it. Saquon Barkley, I couldn't have been more wrong about a player. Holy shit. Is he playing great? I mean, exceptional. Exceptional football. Stop it. If not for drops and penalties, Hurts is 2-1. That is a fucking lie. 7 sacks. 7 sacks. And a safety. And this guy thinks he's going for 3 TDs and 250 yards when that fucker hasn't thrown for 250 yards in 3 months. Give me a break. Give me a break. Dude, you're in the – here, let me get to the takeaways. Please hit the like. Guys, what are you crying about? What in the world are you moaning about? You're in the NFC title game. Congratulations. What are you talking about? Here, win in advance. Here's my takeaways. By the way, Josh Allen, he ended up beating Lamar Jackson and Henry. Okay? I mean, who did you guys beat? Matthew Stafford. Great. Fantastic. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, they're all good. You're in the NFC title game. Jalen took 7 of the most beautifulest sacks, and that safety was so graceful. Ugh, gags on hurt sausage. They better sign Jeff Stoutland, lifetime contract. Let me get, again, to the takeaways here. The game was physical. Went back and forth, had drama in it, like I said. The conditions led to a lot of the play and the way the game was being played. I thought it was an absolutely iconic January NFL playoff game between two historical franchises, the Rams and the Eagles. It was great. All the drama you wanted was on display. Missed opportunities, turnovers, sacks, safeties. It was a really good physical football game. Okay? I mean, and the Rams did exactly what I said they had to do. You know what that was? Make it a fourth quarter game. Get yourself a chance to win the game with last opportunity. I don't care what John McMullen says. The Rams had a shot to win. That's coaching. That's coaching. Barkley is amazing in how he plays. He is utterly amazing. Dan, do you think the Eagles can beat Kansas City? Let me get through my takes, Philly, and I promise I'll answer that. Like I said, if Hurts, you put the 7 sacks in there, he had 65 yards total passing. He took brutal sacks, minus plays, and a critical safety that gave the ball back to the Rams to put him back in the game. Yeah, he played great. Jared Verse showed up. I think if anybody in Philadelphia would like a guy, you got to like him. He talked shit, came in and backed it up. Jordan Mailata had a rough day with him. Rough day with Jared Verse. And by the way, the slam dunk rookie of the year defensively. Slam dunk. Rookie of the year, and I'm glad I voted for him. Unbelievable. He ate Mailata up. Okay? He ate Mailata up. And he is your rookie of the year. By the way, it might be unanimous. AJ dropped, and he looks hurt. He looks hurt to me. Okay? He looks hurt. Okay? Looks hurt to me. Doesn't look as explosive. He looks hurt. Sills, I saw Jared Verse put Mekhi on his ass and sack Hurts, landing whiff on a block. All 7 sacks can't be his fault. That safety was horrible, though. All those sacks aren't his fault. Offensive line, I've told you, they're not the best pass protectors. They're not. They're great in run block, but they're not the best pass protectors. So let me get this right. In 16 football games that Jalen Hurts has played, let me see here, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. In 15 games, Jalen Hurts has 45 sacks. Is that right? 16 games. He's got 45 sacks. What do you make of that number? What do you make of a quarterback taking 45 sacks in 16 ball games? What do you think of that number? Good or bad? This guy's almost getting 3 a game, being sacked 3 times a game. What do you make of that? Either, like Ray Didinger said, it's either the O-line or the quarterback or both. What is it? Okay. By the way, once again, you're on to the NFC title game. I'm telling you about all the great, 90% of the stuff is great. I can't help you if I point out one part of the game where the team is not very good. Okay? Personally, I think he's struggling on picking up blitzes. He got internal blitzing twice right up the middle on him. That's him identifying it and setting protections. Some of those sacks were clearly on him because he didn't know where the pressure was coming from. That's what I saw. And when he set the protection wrong, some of the O-line guys whiffed because they weren't expecting it. Hey, I'm not going to hang on this. This is not the story. The story is Barkley and the defense and winning and moving on. I mean, that's the story. Q gets injured. It doesn't look like it's going to be serious. Jalen Carter was a force. You win in advance. It was a heck of a football game. And I think the Rams showed up and played. They showed up. I don't know what you're moaning about. What are you moaning about? This is the worst Eagles quarterback season this century. Is this the worst Eagles quarterback season this century? Probably. Maybe the Wentz 4-win team was also a poor one. But I mean, again, I don't think you should look at it like that. I think you should look at it that you've got 16 wins. I wouldn't look at it like that it's the worst quarterbacking. The quarterbacking has also helped lead to one of the best run games. Hurts's impact is in the run game. It's not in the pass game. Okay? It's in the run game. I thought he was electric in the run game. He is. He's electric when he's running. I'll tell you what, Sills. What the fuck was the NFL thinking letting the Rams wear white jerseys? I feel that was a factor. Because of the snow. They couldn't see each other down the field. Both teams should have probably wore their dark uniforms because of the bad weather. I didn't think everybody really realized how much the snow was going to take a factor in the second half of that game. It was a factor. I can't believe Stafford delivered the amount of yards that he did. Sills, Q looks like he's coming back. That's a great sign. Now, to what level? Let's take a look at that. Hurts is hurt. I think AJ's banged up. Q's banged up. You've lost Dean. You're going into this ball game pretty banged up. And I actually think Washington's pretty healthy heading into the NFC Championship game. Again, guys, please do me a favor. Hit the like button. Thank you guys so much. Let's get to the numbers and buy the numbers here. And then we'll give you and continue. Then we'll do our game balls here. First downs. Rams 18, Eagles 16. This was not bad. This is what really was instrumental in the win, was the fact that you were 6 of 15 on third down. Absolutely fantastic. The Rams were 6 of 16 on third down. Not bad. Rams had more plays, 70-61. They did a nice job on keeping the Eagle run game on the sidelines as much as they possibly could. Here's going to be a factor here, though, man. Okay? Here's where it's starting to get kind of dicey here for you. Hey, do I think you can win a game like this against the Chiefs? No way. No way. And I'll point it to you. Total yards, Rams 402, Eagles 350. Passing, 55 yards for the Eagles, 291 for the Rams. Rushing, 285. You ran the ball for 285 yards, and that was a one-possession game, and the Rams had a chance to win. You're going to have to get something out of the passing game, in my opinion, in the conference title game and in the Super Bowl to win it. Rams, 111 yards on 21 carries, 5.3 yards a carry. They ran the ball effectively. Sacks. Hurts took 7. Stafford took 5. Turnovers. The central part of the game here. 2 for the Rams, 0 for the Philadelphia Eagles. Our defense is elite. It is. Your defense is sensational. It's playing great. I mean, I'm going to get to some of the numbers here, too. Hurts 15 of 20, 128. Stafford 26 of 44 for 324 yards and 2 touchdowns. Williams, 19 carries, 106. Barkley, 26 for 205 and 2. Hurts, 70 for 70 and 1. Great run down the sidelines, a 44-yard scamper. Puka Nacua, 6 for 97. And then it was the rest of them dudes. And Dallas, 4 for 56. Barkley, 4 for 27. There was really no passing game. On defense, Jared Verse, 4 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. He was in the backfield the entire night. He was the best football player on the field defensively in that game between the Rams and the Eagles. He was the best player on the field. He was all over the place. Sills, with all my heart, I think Saquon will run us to a Super Bowl. I'm starting to think this too. This run game alongside of our defense. I agree. Kellen, okay? And what Jalen Carter is doing, could he carry you the rest of the way? As long as you don't get turnovers against Kansas City. It's a strong possibility. Hit the like button, guys. Slay had his best game in 2 months. Really a good ball game, 6-5. Baun continues his amazing season of all-pro football across the line. 6 and a tackle for loss. Jalen Carter, what a line. 5 tackles, 3 solo, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs. Fucking guy was everywhere. And the way he's playing now, this late in the year, he's a pro. He's officially now a pro. That guy has more talent than Fletcher Cox. And that's what you wanted to see. And you're seeing it. Each week adds clown paint to that face. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Who hurts your quarterback? Guy's average. You got a great football team. I wouldn't be talking about Hurts. He doesn't deserve any kind of conversation. He was a non-factor outside of the run game. Like I said, he was sensational in it. As a passer, dude, you got people in your own market that you guys revere, like Ray Didinger, saying the same shit. Just today, they're saying it that I've been saying all year. So don't give me any fucking shit about clown faces. Not a person on the planet in that market's not saying what I'm saying. I've just been saying it longer. And I'm trying to give you kudos for getting to the NFC Championship game. The hell are you talking about? Oh, I see. You guys want to win your way. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, kid. Not on this program, because we tell you everything and how it played out. They carried that kid. He's the caboose. Once again, in his 4 years starting, there's only one season where he's been the engine. This year, he's been carried. Who in their right mind wouldn't think that that guy's not the big star in that huddle? Sills, what do you think about this Commies game outside of the fourth quarter of the first game, in the first quarter and the second? They were able to stop Saquon. I think they're better defensively. Nolan Smith, another sack. Absolutely. Yes. 16-3. Goofball Hurts redefines the position. Yeah. They win in spite of him. So, hey, by the way, I thought C.J. Gardner, why can't I get the people who actually played well? Let me get the people who played well. Gardner Johnson, 6'5" and a TFL, played great. Oren Burks, 6'4" and 2 TFLs. Dude, really a well-played game defensively. Our passing scheme has to be better, not good enough for a championship. Philly fans, wake up. Was the Chiefs, we lose. If this was the Chiefs, we lose. I'm not delusional. Thank you, brother. You're correct. Like I said, Sills, Eagleless home field advantage Super Bowl. Okay? Look, once again, stay on focus on what is the good here. Your quarterback is okay. Your rest of your team's great. Can it carry you? You're in the NFC title game. Why are you not happy? Why are you upset here? Hurts is breaking the mold. He's breaking the mold with 65 yards passing in an NFC divisional game. You bet your ass he is. I've never seen anything like it. It's a testament to the roster. No question. When you only get 60, dude, if Patrick Mahomes throws the ball for 65 yards, the Kansas City Chiefs get whacked. Hurts injury going to force quick passing game. Maybe. Maybe the best thing happened to him, he got hurt because he has to get the ball out. But let me ask you this about play calling. So Kellen Moore, they put a knee brace on Hurts, and he's on the goal line. And you drop him back in the end zone in the snow? Who fucking came up with that play? Who in their right mind would call that play? On the goal line, you just put a knee brace on your quarterback, and it's in the snow, knowing that the routes are going to be slower to develop. Who in the fucking right mind would put him back there, knowing he can't get away from pressure? Chris Shula did the right thing by blitzing. Who makes that call? I jumped out of my chair and went, okay, look, I'm giving Kellen some kudos for what he's done by adapting to the offense and the skilled people he has in it, but that was horrible. That was a horrific play call that they had. Horrific. Goal line, sack, safety. He's already taken 6, and you're going to drop him back? Why didn't you run the ball? You're running the ball at 6'8" to carry. Holy shit. That was so bad. That kind of stuff right there keeps the Rams in it. That is on Kellen. Can't call that play. Run the fucker. Get it out. Special teams. Your defense is killing them. Your running back is killing them. And you drop back on the goal line in the end zone for a safety sack. I was like, dude, my daughter saw that. How in the world do you call that? Horrific. Just horrific. Play calling was shitty. 100% on Kellen. And get this, and you give the ball back. You think we will draft a quarterback with Hurts' skill set? Maybe. As a guy to back him up? Maybe. I don't like you got to keep Tanner, but you got to get a skill set guy back there that could run that offense in case Jalen ends up taking a knee and gets hurt. Slay played his ass off. He did. I'd be critical of Darius Slay. He played great. He really had a great football game on Sunday. Played his ass off. I'm going to get to the people who are going to get game balls for me. But at the end of the day here, guys, you're looking at this wrong. You're looking at this wrong. You're in the NFC Championship game. You've got a dominant roster, and you're winning games by running it and playing lights-out defense. I'm not sure what else you want me to say here. Okay? I'm not sure what you're looking for here. Kudos on Hurts. That ain't happening. He did not have a very good game. I don't get, dude, nobody would think that. Not one person. 7 sacks, 65 yards passing. He was exceptional in the run game. Of course he is. That's what he does well. It's a great team. It is. I cussed Kellen Moore and Jalen so hard on that play action pass at the end of the game. We learned nothing from Jacksonville. Josh, great take. Great take. Absolutely great take. Some of those play calls in there not to run the football and take time off that clock in the fourth quarter is a lot of room to be desired on how you prepared. Can I ask one important question? Boy, it just seemed to me that somebody was very distracted with that game plan that was put together. Is that me or not? Did Kellen Moore put a really solid game plan together, or do you think he was a tad bit distracted? I don't know. It just seemed a little bit of a distraction to me when, I don't know, man. We upset because you media people don't keep the shit consistent. Yes, passing needs to improve, but Hurts' numbers. Once again, you need to be consistent. Stop comparing the people that Allen plays with and how he carries a football team on his fucking back to a guy who's carried. He doesn't have Devontae Smith. He doesn't have A.J. Brown. He doesn't have the best O-line in football. That's consistent. He is the only quarterback in the playoffs. The quarterback can throw for 65 yards and win games. Nobody else. It's a testament to the roster. I'm not sure why you're upset with this. I'm not sure why you're upset. You have a great roster. You're favored to win the Super Bowl. You might be able to run yourself to it, and you're pissed off right now because I'm pointing out the evidence, the facts here. You got people like Ray Didinger saying the kid's got to get better. The passing game is not very good. But what? What? Because I've been saying it longer? Hey, it's one thing to say I have no credibility. You say Ray's coming on this show next week. So you're going to tell Ray, fuck you too, right? Okay. I'll make sure I point that out before he comes on. That he also thinks the quarterback, it's evident there's issues. Okay. Okay. Once again, stay on focus. The team won an important game. My God almighty. You fucking Jalenites. It's beyond anything I've ever seen. Nobody in their right mind would say that guy played well. The Bills carried Allen Sunday. Sure he did. Who carried him? Let's take a look at that. Cook had 60 yards. Shakir had 60 yards receiving. After that, Cook had 15 yards. Collins had 12 yards. Dalton Kincaid had 11. Who carried who? So you think a back with 67 yards rushing and a receiver with 67 yards receiving carried Josh Allen? Funny, Allen was only sacked once. Your guy was sacked 7 times and gave a safety up and doesn't play with near the talent. It's unheard of. How in the world would you ever compare? What do you think Josh Allen would do with the talent level in Philly? What do you think he would do with that old line? Nobody touching him. Pass pro harder in those conditions. It is. Plus hard to escape the pocket too. It is. It's a good point out, Tyler. And the Rams came to play. I was shocked. This is a game that you can build on. Yes. Yes. Yes, Tyler. Yes. I completely agree. It's a great win. All supers go to the top. Hey, Anthony, I'm not going to debate. The defense carried him. Okay, so wait a minute here. The defense carried him. Keep it real. 3 turnovers. He had 3 turnovers in the game? Josh Allen had 3 turnovers? Josh Allen had 3 turnovers? I don't remember that. I remember 1 interception. I don't remember 3 turnovers by him. By the way, I'm not debating that stupid shit. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Are you fucking kidding me? Give me a break. Stop talking about this. Talk about people who deserve to be talked about. The guys who really played well. My game balls. Don't talk about people who showed up and played okay. Talk about people who excelled in the game. Here are my 10 game balls. Number 10, Nolan Smith continues to impress. Continues to impress. Had a really good football game. He's continuing to get better and better. He really is. And he's starting to now make the point where you got to start looking for him. I mean, I even saw a Jalen Hunt sighting. I mean, Nolan Smith, where is he here? 4 tackles, 1 sack, 1 TFL. It's not quite Hassan Reddick, but he's making plays now. He is. This kid's making plays, guys. And he's making them now at a regular clip that he's making plays. Number 9. Perspective. Hurts got sacked 7 times. 4 of them came after the knee injury. Kellen's selection of plays is insured, but was bailed out by the defense. Barkley, AJ, 2 drops, and Smitty drops was 95 yards. Sure, you can make all the excuses you want for Hurts. He's got 45 sacks in 16 games. I don't know. You can make what about the 45 sacks in 16 games? You tell me. You think that's a problem or no? And he hasn't had in 7 games a pass down the field of more than 35 yards. You don't think that's a problem with him? By the way, I'm not saying it's a problem for your team. You're in the NFC title game. You're in the NFC title game. What are you moaning about? Dude, this is a you thing. 9, I got Gardner Johnson. He was absolutely fabulous. Number 8, I got Jalen Hurts. 71 yards rushing. Was instrumental in keeping the run game going and that 285 yards. No kudos for the passing, but I give him kudos for what he did in the run game. He is important in the run game. Make no mistake about it. The Eagles don't have the same running attack if Jalen Hurts is not in that ball game running the football. They do not have. If you put Kenny Pickett or Tanner McKee back there, you don't think the run game is going to be as effective if Hurts is not in there. Hurts makes that run game effective, even more so. Number 7. Can I say something here about some decisions that were made? Don't know if you touch on this, but how do we expect to win a Super Bowl being so one-dimensional? The game is excellent, but we need to be able to pass. I do think so, too, in those conference title games. The defense got Allen 3 turnovers. Quit changing the debate. Nobody said Hurts was better than Allen, but Hurts is the only one who gets criticized for low yards. No, I'm criticizing him for the sacks and the safety and keeping the Rams in the game. That's what I'm criticizing him for. Nowhere did I say low yardage. I said that with the sacks, he threw for 65 yards. I'm kicking his ass with the sacks and the safety. Taking your team constantly out of field position. Holding onto the ball too long. Stafford didn't have a problem. That's an elite quarterback. Elite quarterbacks can throw in bad weather. Okay? Can throw in bad weather. And he gave the Rams a shot to win. They didn't. You're in the NFC title game. I don't know how many times I have to make you guys feel better about yourselves. I'm getting sick of it. Why do I have to make you feel better about yourself? Because I'm telling you the truth of what the game played out. What are you talking about? Jesus criminy, you're in the NFC title game. Suck it up. So what? Your quarterback is not an elite guy like the rest of the guys in the league. Who cares? You're in a title game. You may win in spite of him. You just might. I mean, what are you crying about? Number 7. I got Micaiah Becton here. And I got Becton here, and I'm going to tell you why. Hey, Zander, make sure you get JAKIB a link, and make sure it's 4:30. Zander will be 3:30. Gary Cobb 4:30. Angelo Cataldi will be with us at 5:30. So we'll have Zander at 3:30, Gary Cobb at 4:30, and we will have our friend Angelo Cataldi. He'll be with us at 5:30. Tell me this, on what the organization did this year that was more impressive to you. Taking Zach Bond, a special teams guy who was brought to Philly to be a potential edge rusher like a Van Kinkle, they move him inside, and he turns into an all-pro. Or this one. He moves Becton from left tackle to right guard, and he's one of the best right guards in all of football. Or the signing of Saquon Barkley, who is another all-pro. Got to have Mamba mentality skills like Kobe, says Jobs. Not done. Absolutely, I love that. KJ Cobb at 4:30 for Victory Monday. Let's go. What's more impressive? Them moving Becton to right guard, Bond moving him from special teams, potential edge rusher to inside, or the Barkley sign. Got to be Barkley still. But look at those decisions that they made. Who came up with right guard for Becton? Never played the position. Who came up with that? He was so fucking good on Sunday. He was picking people up off the ground and throwing them into snowdrifts. He had an impressive ball game. He was good. I'm watching that big fella, and he was amazing in what he did in that game. Please hit the like button. Give me a total on where we are in the likes. That was a stressful game, Sills. It was a drama-filled game. Those are great football games. Absolutely fun to watch. I got my wife into the show. She started listening too. Great content, Big Sills and Big Z. Thank you, Terry. We appreciate it. Drama. That's what you love. And especially if it comes out to be a W for you. You get that drama, man. Thank you, Maniac. Guys, let's get 10 more. 200 in the first hour would be amazing. Thank you. Guys, I don't know what you're hearing. Some of you, 10% of you in here are hearing something different. You should be very excited about playing in an NFC championship game. Second in 3 years and third in 7 years. What are you moaning about? If you thought that I was going to glaze Hurts's play, you're fucking nuts. Okay? When you talk about any other team you don't talk about Washington and their run game and their defense. You talk about Jaden Daniels, Allen, Mahomes. In Philly, you talk about Barkley and the defense and the O-line. That's what you talk about. Okay? I got to tell you, man. Here, one more time, though. Let me back it up. Hurts is great in the run game. He's great in the run game. He makes that, I think You could not have the same running attack without Jalen Hurts in the run game. No way could you have the same running attack if Jalen's not in that game. So he is essential to the formula. He's essential. Okay? He's essential to that run game. I mean, here, I want to read it one more time to you. Okay? So did Allen play well? Watch him lie. He led his football team to a playoff win into the AFC Championship game, beating Lamar Jackson. Without him, they don't win. Watch him lie. Did he play well? He didn't have any kind of sacks when it came to instrumental sacks. He didn't give up a 2-point play in the snow, and he beat the Baltimore Ravens pretty much by himself. Yeah. Who else on that team beat him? The defense showed up. That was probably the best Buffalo Bills effort against a team like Baltimore I have seen in 2 years. Okay? I mean, at the end of the day, your quarterback threw for 65 yards and gave 2 points to the Rams, and you're going to try to tell me he played well. Why are you hanging on this? Get this, 127 yards and a 2-point win against Lamar Jackson. And now get this. So Josh Allen will have to go through Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and potentially the Eagles to win a Super Bowl by himself. Okay. That's what great elite quarterbacks do. Okay. Most of them, Allen can't go for a ride. Seals Barkley had 150 yards rushing and a couple of TDs. Without Hurts, again, I agree with you. Without Hurts, had against Washington. Why was that? I'm not sure what you're asking me, Keith. Had 150 yards and a couple of TDs without Hurts, had against Washington. Why was that? I'm not sure what you're asking me. By the way, I'm not comparing. Stop comparing any team to the Eagles. You have the best roster in football. Nobody that's left has anything near it. How about this? Jan Dotson is elite, Sills. Don't forget. Hey, let me take a look here. Does anybody in Kansas City, the skilled players, could they start in Philly? Let's go Travis Kelce. How about in Buffalo? No. How about in Washington? No. So of the remaining 3 teams, there's not one player of the wide receivers that could start in Philly except for Kelce. That's it. Combined. Hurts threw for 128 yards. Yeah, that's right. You're lucky you don't count the sacks, but on the team statistics, the Eagles threw for 65 yards. Stop lying. It's in the box score. It's very simple to read. Let me hook you up on how that works. Okay? You go over to ESPN. Simple for everybody, even Anthony. You go over to team stats, and in team stats, the sacks count for the overall game plan. The Eagles threw for 65 yards, and the Rams threw for 291. Stop lying, Anthony. Okay. Stop lying, Anthony. So let's see here. I'm going to go over to Ray again. I got to read this. This is phenomenal. Okay. Hey, by the way, you guys do respect Ray Didinger, right? You do respect Ray, right? Ray Didinger on the Eagle passing game. Eagles may need to reevaluate their passing concepts. 27 dropbacks and Hurts sacked 7 times. The responsibility is twofold. The offensive line didn't play as good as it's capable of, but the other part of this is the quarterback. He's also been holding onto the ball way too long. Wow, this is Ray and not Sills? This is really a problem, and you're seeing it now, and you're seeing it now for sure. I think it's time these guys all sit down and look at what they're doing. It goes into concepts here. The passing plays are just too slow to develop, and Jalen has not had much success throwing the ball. My buddy Reuben Frank had a great stat on Hurts. In the last 7 games, there's been not one completion of 35 yards or more. And you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on your team? And you guys don't think 45 sacks in 16 games is a problem. Hey, you're winning in spite of him. That's why these games are close. Sacks. Dude, God forbid you turn the ball over. It's over. God forbid you turn the ball over. And you have done a great job of that. Don't turn the ball over, and without a doubt, you might be able to run yourself to a Super Bowl here. Okay? You're damn right 16-3 is elite. You're damn right it is. You're absolutely right. I'm not sure what you're hearing that you have a problem with. I'm giving you guys all kinds of tremendous kudos here. 16-3. Absolutely. No doubt about it. He's the only quarterback in the NFL that has a long runway to be able to make mistakes. Hey, can you imagine if Josh Allen had taken a safety and 2 sacks? They'd lose to Baltimore. Jalen could take 7 sacks and give up a safety and still win. Kudos. Kudos. I'm not sure what you're upset about with that, though. I'm not sure what you're upset, because that, to me, is about the organization putting the right pieces on the team, and you've got a whale of a football team. I'm really not sure what you're upset about, some of you. I mean, Nolan Smith is showing up. Okay? I thought Safford was a Super Bowl winner. You thought? He is. So you discount Hurts, win yet praise Allen? Josh Allen is a one-man wrecking crew in Buffalo. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Those quarterbacks lead their teams, not your quarterback. They win in spite of your guy. Sorry, dude. 7 sacks and a safety is fucking atrocious in a divisional game. Nobody played like that. Nobody. You can push back all you want. I'm trying, get this. I have glazed your team for an hour and 2 minutes now on how great you played as a team. What's your problem? What do you care if your guy plays like shit and you win? What do you care? What do you care? What do you care? You're in the NFC Championship game, and you've got to be 6-point favorites to win this thing in the NFC title game. What are you complaining about? Holy shit. You even got people like Ray Didinger saying the kid's not playing well. He didn't play well against the Packers, and he hasn't played well in that game. I'm not sure, again, why you're so upset. I mean, all these guys were great. I even gave Jalen a game ball because of the way he ran in the run game. Okay? Dude, get over yourselves. This is about team and not about one guy. Okay? It's about team. It just so happens on some of these other teams, the quarterback is the essential piece. I mean, there's nobody on Buffalo. Can you imagine that? If you took all the rosters of all remaining 4 teams, only Kelsey would start on the Philadelphia Eagles. Nobody's beating the 2 wide receivers out, 1 and 2. Who's the best number 2 on any of those teams? I mean, Devontae Smith could be a 1 on pretty much every one of those other 3 teams. Okay? The running back's the best running back of the remaining teams. I mean, God forbid you went into the O-line. Stafford had 5 sacks and a lost fumble. Is that equal to Jalen's safety? So wait a minute, Des. You actually thought that the Rams had a roster to hang in there with them? And that Stafford had 5 sacks and the ball on the 13-yard line? You really thought that the Rams had a roster to hang with them? Really? I didn't. I'm shocked they were in it. Problem is the media's biased. Allen was not good yesterday. Neither was Hurts. I just want y'all to call it across the board. We won. Go Birds. I don't see it that way at all. Josh Allen's a one-man team. Jalen Hurts has the best offense in football, and you spend the money for it, and you should demand more for it. Those games should not be close to Packers and Rams games. Not at all close. You have a roster that should be blowing teams out, and you know it. Seals, the Birds are similar to the 2013 Seahawks. I love that comparison. Okay? Strong run game, opportunistic passing game, strong O-line, defensive line, an opportunistic secondary with the Legion of Boom. Paul, that's a damn good take right there. I like that take a lot, Paul. I do. Guys, one more stop to the Super Bowl. Comparing Allen and Hurts, the formula works for us. Let's get a W next week at the link. Yes. Yes. By the way, Devontae, they think I'm criticizing. I'm just pointing out what I saw. And if that comes off of criticizing, I can't help you. Isaiah Rodgers. I thought he was a couple plays in there where he didn't play great. But I also thought a couple plays where he played outstanding. I didn't finish my game balls yet. I got Becton at 7. I got Dallas Goedert at 6. Zach Ball continues his amazing year. 5 on my top 10 game balls. This is going to shock you. I gave Oren Burks 1. I thought Oren Burks had a damn good football game. For a kid that was wedged in there in a divisional round, kudos to him. I thought he played well. Number 3, I gave Darius Slay, who I've been critical of. I gave him game ball 3. Jalen Carter continues to be a superstar. Game ball 2, and the number 1 game ball obviously goes to Barkley. Barkley's just absolutely sensational. Wow. The New York Giants, man. I have no idea how you can look yourselves in the face today after watching that guy run the ball. Not building an O-line for him, not making it essential to build players. I don't get it. I was just speaking specifically on Stafford's negative plays versus Hurts's negative plays. So that's it. I got you, Des. I'm good. Okay? I got you. Remember something. Stafford had the shot to win it. Ball was in his hand like it was for Trevor Lawrence. Why? Because you're not getting enough out of the passing game to be a dual. You ran the ball for 285 yards. How do you run the ball for 285 yards and you're still in a game? You should have ran that team off the scoreboard. Elliott, way to go. I had forgotten to write him down. It's a huge liability. 2 missed PATs, go Birds. Man, I'm sorry, man. That guy makes $6 million a year. Am I right when I say that? Did I see that number? That Jake Elliott makes $6 million a year? I could get a guy making $1.5 million to do the same shit he's doing. $6 million? That's what that guy makes? Somebody tell me that. I looked at that number and it was wrong. Tell me that number's wrong, that he makes $6 million. Because I thought he signed a $50 million deal or some shit where he was making $6 million annually. This guy makes more money than Zach Bond. Okay? Seriously, this guy makes more money than Zach Bond. And he makes 5 times the money Zach Bond makes. Crazy. I mean, he has a couple more of those. There's going to be an open competition this offseason. Who will be the kicker in Philadelphia next year in 25? Because, man, 4 years, $24 million? Get the hell out of here. He's got the putter's yips right now. Seals Josh Allen at 65 yards in each half of passing. You can't tell me he carried them yesterday. That defense did its job by forcing turnovers. Once again, Josh Allen is one man on that offense. There's nobody else that's even remotely near an A player. He takes C students and makes them B players. Hurts has A players and makes them C students. You make AJ and Devontae C students in the passing game. He's made them C students. Okay? Oh, my God. Are you all slow? I clearly said Allen is better than Hurts. So not comparing. I'm just speaking on the media bias, not criticizing other quarterbacks. You want criticizing other quarterbacks? Here's criticizing other quarterbacks. Hey, Lamar, you are now becoming – who player can I name? Oh, I'll give you a hint. He played in Philly. And he always puts up great regular season numbers, won a scoring title. But when he gets to the playoffs, he shits the bed. Who am I? What NBA player is in the same conversation with Lamar? Not Embiid. It's a good one. That's a good one. But he's actually a shooting guard. And you tell me, or shooting, yeah. That's it. James Harden. Lamar Jackson is James Harden. Great regular season game, gets in the playoffs, drops the ball on the carpet, massive mental mistakes in ball games. Dude, I love the guy, and I think the guy wants to win, but wow. All that work you did, hey, man, if Sam Darnold and all the work he did with those 14 wins, all the work he did with those statistics he put up, all went to shit. All went to shit. How did Josh Allen beat Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, who had a horrible game, and Lamar Jackson? Incredible. Do you understand the Buffalo Bills cut $65 million off of their salary cap and are now in the AFC title game? Can you imagine the Eagles cutting almost $100 million off their payroll of this team and making it to the NFC Championship game? Versus Lamar, now we got Mahomes and Allen in the AFC title game. Salute to MLK, JAKIB Media for the platform, and to my truckers on the road. Be safe, fellas. Thank you, T. Will. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Martin Luther King Day, MLK. Hopefully everybody's having a sensational MLK Day. No doubt, one of the most important people in our lifetime. I'm more of a Malcolm X guy, but hey, MLK, fantastic leader. And congratulations on having a wonderful day if you're enjoying yourself in your day off. Hit the like button, please, guys. All supers go to the top. Zander's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Gary Cobb at 4:30. And also Angelo Cataldi at 5:30. We need to find a quarterback that can throw. No. Kellen. Why? I asked John McMullen a question. If he thought that this was going to be an every year thing now with running the ball and not throwing it. John McMullen goes, no way. After the year, they're going to do everything they possibly can to improve the passing game. Here we go again. Another shitty coordinator, right? You're never going to learn. It's not the coordinator. How many quarterbacks have had all this turnover in coordinators? And you guys, Jalen Hurts is 16-3. And you're telling me the coordinator sucks. I didn't think he had a great game. I won't lie, in that divisional game. Was he distracted? I don't know. How do you run that quarterback into the end zone with a bad wheel? I'm shaking my head. My wife and I are going like, why are you calling that play? He just went to the sideline with a knee injury. It made no sense. This isn't sustainable. No. The Eagles are not going to want it next year like this. They're not going to run the ball as much next year. This is not how they constructed the team. But to their credit, they're going to run the table here. I would too. I wouldn't change a damn thing. Okay? I wouldn't change a thing. Why would I change anything right now? Hey, by the way, when the Eagles came out throwing the ball right away at the beginning of the game, I'm like, what are they doing? The guy had 6'8" a carry in the game. The Rams had no chance of stopping the run. And they're throwing it at the beginning of the game. I'm like, you kept the Rams in it by doing that. Why not? Exactly what I said. You kept the Rams in it. They were in it at halftime. What was it, 10-6? I said, this is a Rams game. You've got to be exceptionally happy going into halftime at 10-6. That favors you. Sure enough, they get an opportunity to win the ball game in the last possession and are on the 13-yard line with an inferior football team. How'd that happen? Coaching. John's saying that McVay called a shitty game. I don't know how having the ball in your hand on the 13-yard line with an opportunity to win it, a shitty game with an inferior roster. No idea. Offensive system overhaul it in the offseason. Anthony, let me ask you something about that. By the way, thank you, brother. And I love our debates. Anthony, I love our debates. I do. Okay? Hey, and Anthony, if Josh Allen beats Mahomes and he beats Lamar in consecutive weeks, the task is not finished for him to get that off his back. Where people will say this, I mean, he's got to win it. I agree 100%. Let me say this to you. If he goes through Lamar and he goes through Mahomes and he goes through Hurts and wins the Super Bowl, I don't know how you don't say he's the best player in the game. I'm not sure what you would be thinking if he puts that together in that form. By the way, bottom of the hour, Zander will join us 4:30. Gary Cobb, and then at 5:30, Angelo Cataldi. Hurts better. Go back to Tom House. You know what I would think, Anthony? Can I tell you what I think works for him that they don't do enough of? Every time they get Jalen in high tempo and they get him in tempo offense and they go to quick passes and they speed the game up, I think he's way better when they speed the game up for him. You know, they don't have the 7-step. It's more timing passes. I think he's better in up-tempo play. And I think that 7-step shit, I think that's an issue. I like when he is in an up-tempo offense. He looks better in it. I had an issue with the passing in the first half also. Maybe they thought they knew the snow was coming. I think they did. Abe, I think that probably was a game plan. I don't think they really realized, though, Gabe, that it would be that sufficient. And I don't think that they thought it would be that much snow in the second half like that. Because I really did, man. Okay? I really did. I thought that was clearly a factor in the second half. That's why you got to run the football. Okay? That's why they run the football like that. Yeah. So we're going to take a look at the Commanders here in a second. Last year, Hurts was predictable, and AJ and Devontae got their numbers. This year, I can honestly say I don't know who the hell the ball is going to in the passing game week to week. In a limited role, Dez? Okay. Well, Dez, let me ask you something. Dez, do you think that they utilized – wait a minute. This is a stupid conversation here, Dez. Them utilizing the passing game, it hasn't mattered. Yeah, I mean, I'm bitching, and we're bitching at method, and I'm not really even bitching. I said you're 16-3. Your defense played great. You ran the ball well. Your quarterback was average, and you still won the game. I'm not sure what else you saw that was not what you saw Sunday. Okay? I mean, the sacks, 45 sacks in 16 games is a trend. Those aren't stats. Those are minus yardage plays that hurt you. And this game, he gave the Rams 2 points. My question to Hurts was, if you don't like these plays like down on the goal line, why don't you audible out of it and run it? The game is in your hands, not Kellen Moore's hands. That's the difference with some of these quarterbacks who set protections. I think Jalen struggled at setting protections in that game. I do, especially internally. There were guys that came right up the middle that he didn't see where the pressure was coming from. I thought that was on him. Hit the like button, guys. Give me a total where we are in the likes right now. I appreciate you. By the way, all supers go to the top. You know, listen. Can that be this year? Let me say this to you. Is it possible that Jalen Hurts has taken a step back in passing to learn how to set protections, which will benefit him over the next 3 years? Yes. Yes. Do I think next year he'll be better in seeing protections? Yes, I do. Okay? I do. He's a smart kid. He wants to play, and he wants to play well, and he wants to be great. He wants to win, whatever that is. I believe all that. So is he convinced himself, maybe this year's not my year when it came to carrying the team with offense, and we got a guy who can do it now. And what it's done is that Barkley's given him the latitude to grow at the position of quarterback. Well, let me ask you something here. Des, isn't that what happened with Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh when they had Jerome Bettis? Isn't that what happened in Seattle with Marshawn Lynch and how he helped let Russell Wilson develop into reading and setting pass protections? Didn't that help? Right? Hey, Zander, I missed Dez's $5 super chat. Can you put that up? I was basically saying when he drops back to pass, I'm not confident or comfortable. Yeah. Hey, what could it not be that this year, because he's been given Saquon Barkley, it's given Jalen Hurts a chance to grow, setting protections, identifying blitzing where it's coming from, trying to be more of a pocket passer. Do I think this year will benefit him next year? Yeah. Do I think he has the skill set to do it? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. Since he's come into the league, he's taken a shitload of sacks. Before that, it was turnovers. They've eliminated the turnovers. Let me say this to you. If you eliminate those sacks and the turnovers, and Jalen Hurts goes for 140 yards passing and 71 yards rushing, there's no problem in that. There's no problem. You can't take your team out of field position. And you have to make the guys in your huddle, instead of making A players C students, he's got to turn C students into. How come Tanner McKee and even Kenny Pickett made Jahan Dotson look like a star? Look, guys, this is all in the evolution of this kid. I don't know how you look at that and go, well, by the way, I don't know why people are on this point. There are way other players that played their asses off in that game. I got to ask the question about Jalen Carter. Do I think he could be a Reggie White type of player? No. But do I think he could be Aaron Donald? No. But he could be better than Fletcher. And if you're better than Fletcher, you're going to Canton. You're going to Canton. Do I think he can be better than Jerome? This is very hard for me. Do I think he can be better than Jerome Brown? They both run around blocks. He did it again yesterday. He's dominant at the point of attack. His hands are fantastic. His feet are off the charts. His bull rush is great. His arm over and him hanging on the points is great. He's got so much swivel in his hips. He's a little bit bigger version than Jerome. Jerome was about 6'2" and a half. This kid's about 6'4" and a half. 320 pounds. Jerome hung out at around 315. So he hung out around there. Can Jalen Carter be better than Jerome Brown? I have a hard time saying yes because I'm so biased. But, man, he's really great. He's really a great player. He plays all over the place, man. Did he not punch that ball out of Williams to get that on the ground? That was a critical turnover. So he's looking to make plays. And you know the most important thing that's the most impressive? His stamina right now. He playing like this that he played like he played in week 2. He's playing this way like he played in week 2. Great player. Great player. Just an absolute. But by the way, we said this prior to the draft and the night you drafted him. This guy's going to be everything Jerome Brown was and maybe more. You can go back. I mean, it's on tape. I said it. He has got every fundamental to be that good. I'll tell you this, man. The two guys that came out of that draft was great with defensive football players. The Carter draft, I think Gonzalez went in that draft. I think Witherspoon went in that draft. The kid Will Anderson's fucking unbelievable. By the way, the Houston Texans have the best young corners of any team in the league. Okay? Any team in the league. Okay? Kamari Lassiter and Stingley Jr., those two dudes are insane at the corner position. Plus, you have Will Anderson Jr. running the ball or getting after quarterbacks. Man, I'm telling you, Kansas City, they had everything they can handle in that ball game. And did I think the refs? I'm not a ref guy, but holy shit. Hey, man, Kansas City's going to get the benefit of the doubt. All champions get the benefit of the doubt. You got to deal with that. It's what it is. Okay? And by the way, Stingley was the all-pro corner. He's been hurt. He's the all-pro corner. All right. Gary Cobb will join us at 4:30. And Angelo Cataldi will join us at 5:30. Hey, look, man, I said it. And we all said it on the postgame show. You are 8 quarters away from hoisting the Vince Lombardi trophy. Do you understand that? You're 8 quarters away. You're banged up going into this game. Fuck it. Let's go. Everybody's banged up. And by the way, I don't give a shit about Washington, and I don't give a shit about Kansas City if I'm in that Eagle locker room. You know what I care about? Let's play 60 minutes, and let's go play another 60 minutes. And let's see where everything falls. You are 8 quarters away. You can taste it now from the cup. You can taste it. You're not 8 games away. You're not 2 months away. You're 8 quarters away. 120 minutes away from immortality. All right. What an absolutely spectacular post-game show, pre-game show, all of that we had yesterday, man. We can't thank you guys enough. You know, now you're in NFC Championship week. That's what this is. Hey, by the way, who would have thought how much it mattered to win the NFC East? Because if Washington had won the East, that game would be in D.C. right now in Landover. That's how important. And this is a great sign for the NFC East next year. You got Washington and Philly in the NFC title game. Hey, man, you might be seeing this for a couple years. You might be seeing this for a couple years. I think Washington's a little more healthier right now than what Philly is, but that hasn't really played a factor. Burks goes in for Dean. He had a really great football game. All right. The co-host of Birds 365 and also does a great job with our pre-halftime and post. We so appreciate him doing this each and every single day. Hopefully they gave those jerseys away today too on Birds 365. He is our friend, Big C, Zander Krause.
What's going on, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
Did you give those jerseys away today?
No, not yet, man. Tomorrow we're giving them away. I'm going to get some more too, so we'll have more giveaways. We'll do a jersey giveaway on the National Football Show this week, so everybody get ready for that. We'll do that later in the week, and we got a lot of stuff to